Welcome to the Pop Go Project Podcast, a platform for the discussion and discovery of arts and entertainment. And today I am joined by Ben from the band Acres from the UK. How you guys doing? Well, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Really good, thank you, dude.
The rest of you guys aren't doing too well. You were talking earlier that they're a little under the weather.
They are, yeah.
That's
Under
unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. We did a festival yesterday. So yeah, a little tired today. It was a long day. I left my house at 5:30 in the morning.
Man.
Did play till 9:45 p.m. So I got home at like 3 a.m. for yesterday. But the festival was great, really fun. So yeah.
Cool, man. Well, you got big news. New album coming out this year, May 2nd, I believe, right?
Yep.
It's called The Host.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Well, before we get into that, I wanted to kind of get a little background about the band, Acres. How long has the band been together for? What kind of about the history, some of the moving parts, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. So Acres started in 2012. So it's been going a long time. I joined Acres in 2015. Originally, they were like a melodic hardcore band, which was just like purely shouting. And they had an EP. And then when I joined, they wanted something different. They wanted singing. And before Acres, I was in like a rock band, similar to like You Me at Six, things like that, just doing singing. So I joined them. They pretty much had like an EP ready to go, which was In Sickness and Health. We've been going ever since. Yeah, we did Lonely World, first record 2019, second record 2023, and yeah, here we are now on the third one, The Host.
And what would you describe Acres as far as the music you put out now?
Dude, I don't know. We're like, this new record, there's a couple of different genres in there. The people I've been speaking to that have heard it in full have kind of said, like, I don't know what to label this record or what genre to put it in. I mean, there's metalcore songs, there's definitely pop songs, there's definitely rock songs. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying being able to be a little diverse right now, which is cool. So I don't want to go ahead and say we're just a straight up metalcore band because
Sure.
I don't.
Well, it's cool that you're able to kind of put all those things into one album. It's kind of a little bit of like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I mean, we recorded in October and we went to Detroit with Landon from the Plotting You. And yeah, honestly, we went out with like 2 half-written instrumental demos. Like, we went with absolutely nothing, which is a first for us. And the whole point of that was to go to the studio and just really see what we could create in that month without having like a ceiling or a box or a genre and a direction which we wanted to go. So it was almost like a big experiment. Just go with nothing and let's just write a bunch and see what comes out and try and do it like as naturally and organically as we can.
And what's your role in the band?
I sing.
Sing? You're the front? Okay, cool. As far as, these songs, you said they're kind of a little bit of everything. Is that primarily you in the direction you're kind of leading, or is it kind of a combination of everyone together?
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody. After the first record, we did Lonely World. I came out of that album wanting to become a pop band. My vision was just like, I think we should be a pop band, and it didn't go that way, thankfully. That was like that. I tend to listen to a lot of pop music, and when I get in my head, I'm like, we should kind of do this. And luckily the record after that went way more rocky and slightly heavier. So but this time it was everybody. Like I said, we all got in a room. We had Landon produce, record, and he became like a fifth member of the band. And honestly, from day one, we got into the studio, picked up a guitar, and just started writing. And literally, this is what came out every time. We would write a song, move to the next, see how we were feeling, and just start something. Just literally how it went. So yeah, there was no one's kind of forcing the band in the direction. It's honestly so natural and organic, and especially this album.
How important was Landon as part of the project? I mean, it's so cool, when producers, you mentioned they're kind of like the fifth member of the band. I think it's so amazing how they kind of guide musicians in a way.
Yeah, I mean, he's so talented. Like everything he does. He's a fantastic songwriter, fantastic singer. His band are great. So working with him was, like I said, I've always wanted like a fifth member, and that was the plan with him. We want to go out, really take his ideas on board, and creatively, he's just like a musical genius, man. Like we give him just a half done riff. We play on the guitar. He puts it in his computer and creates something awesome with it. So yeah, he was super important. And I yeah, honestly, without him, this record probably wouldn't have sounded like this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing it. You have a couple singles out, correct, from this
Yeah,
album?
yeah,
Bloodlust is that one of them?
yeah,
Uh, the video for that is creepy and very cinematic.
yeah.
Can you walk through that song and kind of the story and creative process behind that?
Yeah, I mean, Bloodlust was was one of the first songs we finished in the studio, and it had like that really dark, like to me, I find it really dark, quite sexy at times, and visually, I didn't want to just do like a rock band video or a band performance for that. I didn't think it would do it any justice, and I really wanted something which would captivate people and tell a story and keep people watching, because I feel music videos, because there's so many bands, there's so many videos, sometimes it's really hard to hold attention. And you ask people sometimes, when did you last watch this like music video or music video in full? And some people will say they're dying. And I kind of we wanted to really change that and make something captivating which would hold people's attention. And Jamie, the director who we worked with, I gave him the ideas I had, and he just brought them to life, which is wild. Him and his team worked so hard, and it was a super long day, but yeah, they absolutely crushed it.
How long was it? I mean, I've been parts of music videos before, and small parts. And my day for just being part of it was very long. And the band was there before I was, and even after I was. Talk about that. Like it's a lot of work. I don't think people appreciate that.
Yeah, so we did Staring at the Sun and Bloodlust in the same day. It was all done on the same set.
Oh wow!
Not in one day, which was super ambitious. But I say it was a long day mainly because like it was shot in London. I live 3 hours from London, so it's always like a 3 hour trip there, a 3 hour trip home after the shoot. But John, the guy who plays the guy in the video who's eating all the stuff, he turned up at like 9, and no shit, he left at midnight. He was shooting till midnight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly cannot complain too much, because he was the hardest worker in the room that day. Him and Jamie and the crew were the ones, and I was just stoked to be there and just kind of, when I wasn't needed, just watch everything unfold. And yeah, it was really cool to see the ideas I had start just coming to life, like I said.
Yeah, and it's not even over after that. There's so much after the fact. You shoot all the 15, 16 hours, and then there's so much more after that these guys have to do.
Yeah, I mean, and then Jamie, yeah, it was quite a quick turnaround time on the video, so Jamie like crushed getting that back to us and making the edit so good.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've been on tour with some pretty massive names, The Plot and You, Devil Wears Prada, and now Beartooth. What's that experience been like?
Yeah, wild, man. Like the whole the Plot and You tour we just did, like every show was sold out, and it's wild to come off of a tour without hating at least one of the shows. Some people come off and just be like, I just didn't enjoy that at all. Whereas like this tour, every show was sold out. The Plot and You fans like received us super well. And yeah, we're stoked to go back in a couple of weeks with, like you said, Devil Wears Prada, Beartooth. And yeah, we're almost pinching ourselves that we've managed to go to America. This will be our third American tour in 2 years. Because I can remember stressing to our team, like, I really want to go to America. So now to have done it 2-3 times is wild.
Yeah. Now, when you say sold out, what does that number look like as far as the amount of people?
I think that the venues were. I think the smallest venue was like 1,000, and I think the Plot did their biggest headline show they've ever done on that tour, and I can't remember which venue it was, but I believe it was 4,000.
It's a lot of people.
So yeah, it ranged from like mainly from like 1,000 to 2.5, 3,000. So congratulations to them because they're killing it right now.
Yeah. Any moments stand out from those tours, those
Yeah,
shows?
um, sold out House of Blues in Anaheim, and that's a legendary venue. I visited there in 2022 to go and see Spirit Box, and so to play it was wild. And go backstage and see all the skateboards on the wall. I don't know if you've seen them, but they have
No.
like if you sell out the House of Blues, the headline band gets a skateboard, like a custom made, like Plot got a custom made Plot a new skateboard, and they hang every band that's played there on the wall. And you've got like Green Day, one of my favorite bands ever is Him, and I found the Him skateboard, and just walls and walls of all these like amazing bands that should played. So to play that venue was yeah, a really cool like milestone.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was like, it had like every band you could think of, and they were all signed and stuff. And I was just like, this is crazy that I'm playing.
It's always cool when you kind of get a historic venue like that, like just the history and the energy itself that's in the room, even when they're not there. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, and the show was rad as well. I love LA, California, that stuff up in there a bunch. So yeah, from going like on holiday in 2022 to being there touring was pretty surreal.
And how does touring in the U.S. compare to performing in the UK or Europe?
um, it's taught me that I would never moan in Europe about what we thought was a long drive. Because the drives in America we did on that tour was something else. I'm so used to probably like the longest drive we do in Europe is probably like on one tour will be like 8 hours, and we're like, oh my god, it's an 8 hour drive. And then the beginning of this tour we were looking at 12 hour drive, and then the next day was like 8 hours, and then it was like a 13 hour, and I was just like, Jesus. So that is definitely different. Like
Yeah.
the drive, I drove with our guitarist. It was just two of us, and I definitely underestimated how hard that would be, performing and doing the driving and things like that. But yeah, the crowds are great, and it's cool because I feel like we're a new band in America, and not a lot of people have heard of us. So to play, get received well, and then hear like, oh, I've never heard of you guys, I'm definitely going to check you out, is a cool feeling.
Yeah. Had there been any interactions with fans that have really stuck with you, or kind of reminded you why you make music?
Yeah, there's been a few. Like, it's always nice. People will come up to us after the shows and just be like, this song or this record like really helped me. And I know some people, I do the same with some records. When I'm listening to it, it will remind me of like a good time or a bad time in my life. And I'm sure you can relate to it. If you hear a song, it will take you back. And to hear people say like my music and our music does that for them, like you helped me through like a really hard time, if it was like a breakup or dealing with someone that they've lost, like to know that the music we do means that much to somebody and has helped them that much is something that I definitely don't take for granted. And I always try and speak to as many people. I'm always hanging about the merch. I don't hide away and try and speak to people who like the band and want to speak to us. So
That's like my favorite part of music. Just having that impact on people's lives. And I mean, is that something when you started, like that was kind of something that you knew would happen or that you thought about? Because, you're saying like, people say like, oh, you helped me through this, or, sometimes music helps people, stay alive, right? Like it's so wild. You know, you write a song that can impact people like that. Like it, it's crazy.
yeah, I was so unused to it. The first time it happened was in Acres, and when I first joined, and my first song with Acres was Miles Apart, and we were somewhere in Europe, and I'd been to Germany once, but never toured Europe or like been as far as like Poland. I remember I think it was Poland, and someone got up to me and said, "This song has really helped me, um, and you don't know how thankful I am to you for that." And that was the first time I had it, and I was like, "Wow, okay, this is." I knew Acres like we're a special band and people were connected, but that was the first time I really felt it. So yeah, it was a really cool feeling, and like I said, something I don't take for granted. So
Do you ever think about that when you're like writing songs?
not really, because I do write from past experiences, and I definitely keep in mind that I want it to relate to people. I've always wanted songs to relate to people, and I think that's a very special part of music. And but I don't too much sit there and think, will this relate to somebody? But I always just try and be as honest as I can with songwriting, and always have been. And I don't like to write about stuff which doesn't stay true to me. So yeah,
Right.
there's some aspect of thinking about it, but then again, I'm also just being true to myself, and I get like we're all human, and probably something I've been through, someone else has been through. So someone's will relate to this as well.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for not to, especially if you're writing about something that, you've been through or that resonates with you. So I think it's important.
Yeah, I do for sure. I think people have to be connected to music, and I guess the more you feel connected to the band and the music, the cooler it is. The whole experience of enjoying a band becomes greater.
And who are some of your influences?
So I mean, growing up, there's a band called Him, and I was a skateboarder before I was into music. Skateboarder, and absolutely fell in love with this band. Like I did a German exchange where I had to go to Germany. And the first time I saw this, I'd heard of the band, never listened to them. And the first time I saw one of their records in a record shop was Deep Shadows and Brilliant Highlights. And I thought, I'm going to buy this. And I had a Walkman at the time. And I remember from day one on that trip, I was so homesick. And all I did was listen to that record because I was so homesick. I just listened to that album, and it really got me through that feeling. And yeah, I just become obsessed with that band, that I wasn't switched on to many other bands at all, because all I was listening to was Him. And it was only when I started making music myself that I started discovering bands like Seosin and Taking Back Sunday and Thrice, and all these kind of great bands, and some smaller UK bands. So yeah, they were that was like everything I was listening to growing up.
And is there a band, if you could tour with, is there a band that you would want to it could be any band you wanted to? Who would that be?
Probably Seosin.
Okay.
I love Seosin, and Alex, our guitarist, and it's kind of a running joke in the band that we say to our manager, like, every 4 or 5 months, when is Seosin coming to the UK, or when can we get a Seosin tour? Can we push for a Seosin tour? So yeah, I love the band. I've seen them in London with Anthony Green, but like I've not seen them with Cove. But they are now coming over to the UK with Plot, funny enough, in October. So, yeah, very stoked to see them. But yeah, I'd love to do like a US tour with Seosin.
Nice. Cool. So the host comes out May 2nd. I'm not sure if this is going to be released before that or after that, in any case, but if it's before that, stay tuned for that album dropping. If this is out after the fact, go stream that right now. Um, what's the anticipation like for this new record?
I'm excited, man. Like, there's the next song comes out on the 11th, so next week, and I've been excited for that song to come out for so long. So there's a couple of songs where I'm really excited to get these out. So yeah, we're just excited to be putting out new music, and so consistently at the moment. Yeah, I'm not nervous now. The first songs are out the way. I don't get nervous. I'm just excited for everybody to hear the whole thing.
Yeah. I imagine it's kind of weird though. It's like, you have this, it's done, it's ready to go, and it's going to be released in a few weeks. Um, and you're kind of putting yourselves out there. It's like it's out to the world, and people are going to react how they're going to react. Like hopefully the people receive it well. Hopefully, again, it relates to people's lives and all that kind of stuff. So I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah, it's not felt normally. There is a great amount of pressure because the last two records have taken, well, Burning Throne, our last album, took 2 years. The demo, by the time we demoed the whole thing, recorded it, and got it out, it was 2 years. So, and we sat with it for about a year before it even came out. So there was a lot of anticipation there because it was like, oh shit, this is finally coming out, and we've had it for so long. Whereas this time, we tracked it in October and wrote and tracked it in October, and it started coming out in February. So it's just been like, record it, finish it, go straight away. So which is exciting. I love the way we've done this, and yeah, like I said, just really excited for people to hear the whole thing.
Do you ever put something out and then like you hear it and wish it sounded differently? Like, oh man, you know what? We should have done this instead of this.
Yeah, probably like the whole of our first record. I now and I'm just like, wow, I wish I'd done that. But I've also taught myself like, don't overcook it, which was another cool thing about this record. Like, it's so easy to fall into a trap of like, I've done it. Writing a song, sitting with it for a few days, and then just being like, this needs changing, this needs changing. And this whole experience with the host, there was no time for that. It was literally, you have to try and be the best you can be creatively this whole month, which was challenging. And I kind of thrive under pressure. We all do. So yeah, the way we did it this time was exciting and cool, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's the rest of the year look like for you guys? Album comes out May 2nd.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're back in a couple of weeks with Devil Wears Prada, Error, Kingdom of Giants, and we do the Beartooth shows. And then right now we're sitting with a few things that aren't announced, but there's kind of plans for the UK, Europe, and hopefully we're going to try and get one more US tour before the year's out. So yeah, we'll see.
okay. And what's your hope for the record once it releases? Like it's out there. How do you hope people receive it? Obviously well, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
is there anything on it that you're like, oh, I think this song is the best one on the record. I hope it's the same for other people. Like kind of how do you hope it plays out?
Yeah, there's a song on there called Around Again, which is like the poppiest song we've ever done. And I'm excited for people to hear that because when I got home, I showed my wife and she was like, this is my favorite song you've ever done. Like anything I've heard you done, this is my favorite song. And my son as well, that like kids, my son's 8 and he's like into starting to get into bands, but I feel like there's certain songs by certain, like Falling in Reverse have one, I think it's called Zombified, and like kids are obsessed with it. And Imagine Dragons as well, like for some reason, like all my friends have got kids, all their kids love Imagine Dragons. And when he heard Around Again, he was just like, can you play it again, can you play it again, can you play it again? And I was like, oh, okay, so maybe we like if tapped into something here, maybe this is cool. So yeah, I'm really excited for people to hear Around Again.
Yeah. And what's that like being having a family and being on tour? Is that
Yeah,
difficult?
it's hard. Like the last tour was hard. It's the longest I've been away from home, the furthest I've been away from home. So that was really hard because you're just obviously on FaceTime, different
Mhm.
time all the time. Like 1 minute we were 5 hours ahead, the next day we were like 8 when we got to LA and stuff. So but yeah, no, it's definitely hard. But there's another little musician in my family as well. She's called Harper. Um, she's a signed artist, things like that. So it's also been a really cool experience to like show her music and watch her grow up doing what she does, and she's killing it right now. So yeah, that's also a very cool thing, like introducing them to music and watching them slowly see what they're kind of discovering and enjoying musically is cool.
I think the coolest thing about arts and being creative and, creating things, like you're doing, right? And you have children, and like you're gonna have something that you leave behind.
Yeah.
That they can. That's why I love doing this, because it lives online. It's gonna live longer than I will, and my kids can go back and watch these things when I'm gone. Like my dad passed when I was 22 years old, and what I wouldn't give to have a voicemail from him,
Yeah.
to just listen to every now and then.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like, it's cool that, as a musician, and you're creating music that's going to last forever, and you're kind of leave that legacy behind.
Yeah, dude, I think about that a lot. Like, family members that I've had pass, like kind of what you'd give to hear a voice again, or see a video, and I think the kids are so lucky nowadays because everything's just all over. Like, you've got online, social media, YouTube, and I think even with music's quite special because I've had no other musicians in my family, so I don't really know what it's like for kind of someone to go and then to hear them singing or hear their voice again. So yeah, I think that will be something nice for them for sure, which is a wild thought, but yeah, it's something I've definitely thought about.
Yeah, it's weird to think about, but it's like, it's kind of comforting to a degree.
Yeah, because I'd always have something, and I'm quite sentimental with that kind of stuff. Like, I take a lot of home videos still, and I've got it all backed up on hard drives, and especially for them, so I mean, when they're older, and we make sure we take a lot of photos, a lot of videos when they're younger. So I always want, because I have like baby pictures and stuff, but no videos, not many pictures. So I always wanted them to kind of watch themselves grow, and when they're older, I love the thought of them having something that they can just be like, I can watch hours worth of footage of me as a kid to then show their kids, do you know what I mean, and hold on to them. So yeah, it's stuff like that's special to me for sure.
Yeah. Well, Ben, I know it's late where you are, so, and you're probably very tired from traveling and performing and all that kind of stuff. But so I'll let you go.
Well,
Acres, best of luck with the host. It releases on May 2nd. Real quick, where can people find you guys online?
everywhere. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, all the streaming platforms. You can find us on all social media.
Awesome. Well, Ben, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And best of luck.
Cool. Thank you so much, dude.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.